Future Hall of Famer has been reminding everyone why he is a future Hall of Famer. Could he really be getting faster at 32? Adrian Peterson addressed fitting in with the versatile Saints offense and the coach's decision to rest him during camp.
That was one of the reasons that I was so interested in it coming. Just Breeze is kind of self-explanatory with him, and it's a great offensive line. I really studied and looked them up online and watched film on them. And those guys, when those pads are on, they're grimy. They get after it. And then, like you say, just the offensive scheme that they present as well is something that I felt like I can come in and be able to contribute. It's always fun to me because it's like, I've been playing this game since I was 7, and it's like, a lot of people say, well, you can't catch the ball. I'm like, I've been playing ball since I was 7 years old. I can catch a football, But, you kind of look back 2 years I played with Favre, those were my best seasons as far as receiving yards. I had like 400 one year and 300 plus yards one year, so it's all about having a guy that's going to, get the ball to you. And without a doubt, I know Breeze we'll be doing that. I don't really like sitting out, and I'm always feeling like when I'm out, I'm leaving my guys out there to dry. So, I'll be putting in work when training camp comes around.
But do you intend to try to figure out an approach to limiting your workload or anything like that? Or
not really. I'll let the coaches do what they do.
NFL Nation Saints reporter Mike Triplett with the team in Monterey. You wrote a great article for ESPN.com about his fit with the team. What more can you tell us about what drew him to the Saints?
Well, it's really interesting. I kind of threw him a softball, and he knocked it out of the park when I asked him about, people don't think you can catch the football. And he had that great line, he said, I've been playing football since I was 7 years old. But the real fascinating part of that answer was when he pointed out his 2 years with Brett Favre. And I really think we've talked to him 3 times now, and every time he is really fascinated by the idea of doing that again with Drew Brees. He said having that Hall of Fame quarterback is a game changer. And then obviously the offense the Saints have with Sean Payton and everything. And it's funny, Drew Brees has talked about playing till he's 45. Adrian Peterson last week said he's going to play till he's 37 or 38 years old. I think they're really...
Adrian Peterson sure looks good right now. And he's talking about Chip. Expectations realistic?
I think they are, and I think Teddy's going to allude to this also. It's going to be about... I think they are, and I think Teddy's going to allude to this. I think the rush percentage creep up on this offense overall, or is he going to want to continue to throw it? Look, rush percentage creep up on this offense overall, or is he going to want to continue to throw it? The explosive runs, the plus 10, plus 20-yard runs, getting the average per carry up when you're talking about percentage of runs, maybe getting the average per carry. Do that. You give him a crease, he'll take it the distance. So I think there's no question that he could have it the distance. So I think there's no question. Many different ways. It's just going to be about Sean Payton making sure that he's on the field enough in order to do so. Yeah, many different ways. It's just going to be about Sean Payton making sure that he's on the field enough in order to do so.
Are they committed to running the football still, Susie, or is it still 50 passes? Are they committed to running the football still, Susie, or is it still 50 pass, and then the 5 times you give it to Adrian? I mean, we'll just react to it because you still are passing to Adrian. I mean, we'll just react to it. This is a player that's had a lot of injuries, and of course everyone looks good now, and everyone's player that's had a lot of injuries, and 37, okay? I want to be an analyst till I'm 75. We'll see if that lasts, too.
You might be.
But
not me.
5. We'll see if that lasts, too. It's June right now. I think it's a great idea they decide to rest him because a player like this, getting over 30, a lot of care. Rest him until you need him.
They got enough depth that they can do this all through the year because it's Mark Ingram, it's Adrian Peterson, and don't forget they used a draft pick, a high pick. on Alvin Kamara.
Third round?
Yep. Who they really, really liked and have plans for. So when you mix in these three backs, and think back to last year, the one instance where they got close to the goal line, they took out Mark Ingram and turned it over to Tim Hightower, and how upset Mark Ingram was. But that's just because they rotate their backs to keep them fresh, to try to preserve them. And Sean Payton's going to be trying to do the same thing all year long to make age, to try. Adrian Peterson is fresh in December as he could be in September.
And what are your goals? What are your goals, Adrian Peterson? Do you still want to surpass 1,000 yards? Does Mark Ingram have a goal for a certain amount of touchdowns, a certain amount of yards? Does Mark Ingram have a goal for a certain amount of touchdowns, a certain amount of yards? Because it looks like I may not reach this incentive, or I may not reach that plateau of being a 1,000-yard rusher. This incentive, or I may not reach that. We just watched the Golden State Warriors, players that a lot of stars on there, they're unable to work together. Can this backfield realize that maybe if I only get 900 yards and we're winning football games, it's still okay?
I think that's the key right there. Look, they're put together beautifully in the backfield. They have a nice collection of back. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, which is great. And at this point in his career, it has to be about championships. It has to be about getting to a Super Bowl, not about just trying to rack up 12, 13, 1,400-yard seasons. Because if it is, he probably picked the wrong place. And it's probably not constructed that way for him to get those kind of individual accolades anyway.
I'll say this, it still is odd to see Adrian Peterson wearing a Saints uniform.
Yeah.
It's hard to get used to that.
And for all the talk about the offense, and defense is going to have to come to play, too, for anybody to
It's hard.
accomplish what they want.
No doubt.
But
Same story in Oakland.
Yeah, but you know what? He's been superhuman at times in his career.
Maybe he'll rush the
So
passer.
we'll see. Peterson pick six. Here's some of the best. 2012, week 9, breaks a tackle in the backfield. I mean, come on, making all these defenders miss.
Wow.
This is what it's all. A 74-yard run.
Look, Mark Ingram is a nice back, but Mark Ingram kind of back. And that's the kind of explosive plus 10, plus 20, plus 50-yard runs that you're talking about. That look, if he could hit 20 plus 50-yard 2 plus 20 plus 30-yard runs a game. I mean, that's huge for an offense that relies on Drew Brees anyway.
This is 2011, week 5 against the Cardinals from the red zone. Peterson runs up the middle, runs into Patrick Peterson, but he carries him 6 yards.
Yeah, you see the moves here, too. It's still about getting positive yards, the quick little... quick little sidestep, but still vertical, very vertical. He wants to get positive yards.
He was one of 3 touchdowns on that day. 2015, week 3 against the Chargers. To tackle in the backfield, has got a stiff arm, another tackle, cuts back, the high step into the end. Another tackle.
And it's something with him. Sometimes you just see defenders and they don't want to tackle him. Like Weddle right here tries to just throw the shoulder at the lower body, and you got to do more than this to bring down Adrian Peterson.
And then back to 2012 again, week 13 against the Packers. And then back to this time, breaking, once again, multiple tackles down near the sideline. And once he does, then he turns on the Jets. This is for the touchdown. Just a great combination, right, of the power and the speed. An 82-yard touchdown. He finished with 2 of the power in that loss to Green Bay. And again, it's the loss, you know. Let's replace that with a championship run.
Yeah.
Loss, you know. Let's replace. Week 1 against the Browns, Peterson runs left, and then it's to the second. Runs left. Takes it in for the...
I could watch these all day.
I think, yeah, this was like the opening game of the year. I remember seeing this in opening day, say, we're going to get a year.
These all day.
I think, yeah, this was... a lot of years of this from Adrian Peterson.
If they can create holes like that where before he is engaging in first contact,
Adrian Peterson.
If they can create holes like that where trying to stop this offense.
And again, it's one of 3 touchdowns for Peterson on the day.
To stop this offense.
And again, it's one of 3 touchdowns for Peterson on the day. Brett Favre dumps it off, and he. Brett Favre dumps it off, and he.
Teddy, you ever get trucked like that?
You would catch it, not like that.
Teddy, you ever get trucked like that?
You would catch it, not.
Yeah, Bam Morris ran me over like that once.
Really?
Yeah.